Yo, what's going on guys? I'm Entity Maze, and welcome to my Pokemon Sun and Moon review series. Today I'll be reviewing episode 119, Super Fast Vikavolt, The Awakening of Sophocles, which was a quite fun episode. So, get relaxed everybody, as I will now jump right into this review. Let's go! So, the episode begins off with Ash and his friends noticing Sophocles wearing a VR headset with an attachment attached to his Vikavolt, which Sophocles then replies that he's training to compete in a Vikavolt race. The trainer having to wear this VR headset so they can command their Vikavolt to get around obstacles within the race, them not being able to fly on them as those obstacles can be quite dangerous. As you should hopefully see as well, unlike the Charge Bug race, the Vikavolt race only requires the trainer and their Pokemon, no teammates. Which overall with this description so far, I was quite intrigued to see how this race will go. Not only that, but the Charge Bug race was gleaming with creativity and excitement from start to finish. So, I was very confident that this race would give off a similar vibe as well. The VR technology was already fairly creative to me already. Was I correct about everything else though? Well, we'll get to that later. As firstly, it should be stated that Sophocles is not only competing in this race to, of course, have fun, nor get Charge Bug merchandise, which is still a humorous prize to me to this day, but Sophocles is also competing to win the main prize of this race, a Buganium Z, which when this was said, I straight away already knew that Sophocles would win this race. The prize was too important. But regardless of the predictability of this, wow. This essentially confirms that every classmate will now have a Z-Ring and Z-Crystal at some point, Mallow being the remaining classmate towards the end of this episode. Which, although some people don't believe Sophocles nor Mallow is worthy enough for a Z-Ring and Z-Crystal, me, on the other hand, really adores this concept, as it pretty much makes each classmate equal in development, which is very satisfying to just say. Not only that, but we've seen all kinds of trainers use Z-Rings and Z-Crystals differently in the anime than within the games. Such as a baseball player uses one to play baseball, Piccola uses hers to protect the Pikachu Valley, and finally, Lana not only to help her in battle, but to also help her create a bigger bubble for her goal of wanting to explore the sea in a bubble. So this makes Z-Rings and Z-Crystals work differently in the anime than within the games. Which is why I believe there's no such thing of Sophocles and Mallow not being worthy, as they can use their Z-Rings not only to help them in battle, but of course, with what I just said, help towards each of their goals, or for another unique reason. Most importantly actually, much like the trails, Z-Rings and Z-Crystals help both the trainer and Pokemon grow a stronger bond, which that can relate to anybody as well. Stuff like this is exactly why I grew to love the anime more than the games as well. Their distinctive twists and world building. Talking about things I admire from the anime, did you know that Sophocles wanted to use Z-moves actually got foreshadowed back in episode 115, and I believe another episode as well, but I forgot which one. But this foreshadowing to this episode is appealing. Anyway, with that Z-ring meaning and Z-move foreshadowing now explained, let's jump back into this story, shall we? So, pretty much, we just watched Sophocles train for this Vikavolt race after stating to his friends what the race is all about, which I guess were nice little scenes. If anything, I just really appreciated the personality Vikavolt showed us that we barely get to witness in other episodes, such as Thunderbolting his friends because he was excited, and easily getting distracted because he smelled sap, which he loves to eat. Not only that, but of course throughout the entire episode, it showed a kind of sweet bond between it and Sophocles, which I did admire as well. Oh, never mind, I completely forgot that the music during this training as well, it being a somewhat montage actually, was pretty nice. It was such a relaxing, yet cheerful tune, fitting Sophocles and his Pokemon perfectly. A couple days later though, the Vikavolt race comes to Pony Island, which upon arriving at this competition, Sophocles reunites with Horatio, who had evolved his Vikavolt in about a day after Sophocles had saved him from falling down on that bridge in episode 106, being determined to win this race with his what he likes to call White Comet. However, he is actually friendly towards Sophocles here, which put a little smile on my face. Entity fun fact number 1. If somebody ever dislikes you, save them from danger, and they will then respect you. Jokes aside, why I put on a smile as well is because I do quite like friendly rivalries as well, as it can help both characters develop. Meanwhile, in the distance though, Team Rocket had decided to compete in this race as well, Meowth being inside their Mecha Vikavolt, which the whole inspiration why Team Rocket was competing is actually not to obtain the Bulk Sea Crystal, but rather capture Vikavolt for Giovanni to control like Santa's reindeers, which, oh my god, I don't care if the plan is dumb, it's the usual Team Rocket, but if Giovanni Vision returned in some fashion, you have no idea how much I missed these. Sure, it was just a moving image of Giovanni controlling these Vikavolts, but it's better than nothing. I loved with Giovanni Vision so much back in the Diamond and Pearl days, oh my god. Point that found point aside though, this story continues on with the contestants' Vikavolts lining up, while the trainers go on a VR Vikavolt to feel like they're riding one, which is another creative element to this race. And then, as soon as the rules were established, the race begins. Which, I'm not gonna lie, this entire race definitely wasn't as exciting as the Chargeable race. I mean, sure there was some cool scenes such as Sophocles' Vikavolt using String Shot to dodge the Vikavolts falling in the water, the visions of the trainers riding on their Vikavolt, the point of view camera shots, which I adore as a guy who loves unique camera angles, and of course, the dark cave scene. But we'll get to that cave scene in a second. Just, you know, the Chargeable race offered so much more in my eyes. In fact, I know I don't like to compare Sun and Moon to old series episodes, however, just this once, this episode really reminded me of the Noibat race episode in the XY series, which I feel I like the episode more as well. Maybe because of the 3D camera though, as, you know, everything was quite similar when it comes to the obstacles. So, maybe I was wrong for thinking that this would be as creative as the Chargeable race, as it was literally stated from the beginning that this would be in the sky, whereas the Chargeable race was on the ground, which being on the ground could have helped with its creativity. I mean, they were riding cars, which was lovable. Anyway, with that said, get into that cave scene. Team Rocket managed to get ahead of each Vikavolt because of their technology, and managed to capture every contestant's Vikavolt, except Sophocles because of plot. Oh, I mean, because Sophocles was far behind thanks to Team Rocket cutting the lights in this cave, which started to get Sophocles scared, as of course, he was afraid of the dark. Yet, he manages to pull through this. Originally, Vikavolt was going to use his electricity to produce light, but Sophocles rejected this, as he stated that if he doesn't get used to the dark anytime soon, then how could he become an astronaut, which is his goal. Space being dark. And, well, he makes a good point. I never thought about that. But, yeah, despite some people maybe brushing the scene off, it made for a neat development in my eyes. Not only because of what Sophocles stated, but also because this entire section of the episode proved me wrong that a character being scared of the dark cannot benefit anything rather than trying to make the audience laugh. It actually got development. Much respect to the writers. And, you know, when watching this episode, it actually crossed my mind that an adult friend of mine, despite being an adult, is scared of the dark. So it's a very relatable thing for many people, regardless of age. So, yeah, that's another thing I appreciate about this. But anyway, as soon as Sophocles pulls through this in that lovely way, he notices the Vikavolt getting captured and helps Horatio's Vikavolt escaping before helping the others. But eventually, Beware appears and takes Team Rocket home. The rest of the Vikavolt, they managing to get back to safety. Which all of this was just meh. A quite boring Team Rocket plan this time around. But at least we have that sweet XY battle music during this entire section. In fact, we also got the GTS theme playing at one point as well, which I thought fit really well. In fact, the music in general within this episode was just astonishing. Upon each Vikavolt escaping the cave though, each contestant agreed to each other that they all should start in the same last area to make things fair, thanks to Team Rocket messing this race up, which was admirable. And well, as you can guess, all the randomers were left in the dust by Sophocles' Vikavolt and Horatio's Vikavolt, with excellent Sun and Moon battle music playing in the background. But the one who prevailed in this cool climax was of course Sophocles, winning himself that lovely Bucganium zine. Ayy! Horatio even shook hands with Sophocles, for showcasing the audience even more how far the relationship has come. Horatio is actually likable now. For that's all I can say for his character right now. We're about to see him battle against Sophocles in the league though, which will be the next time I'll be talking about him. Oh, by the way, there's me in the background. I've told you guys for quite a while now that I've been stalking Ash and his friends to make these reviews. Cringy jokes aside, Jesus, this is like the 12th time Emolga has been in the background of Sun and Moon now. They really love this Pokemon, don't they? Huh? And in this episode off though, Ash and his friends start to make their way to either the Pokemon Center to rest or find a boat to get back to Melemele Island, where during this journey, Sophocles expresses how happy he is to get this Sea Crystal, but he doesn't know whether he's worthy enough to have a Z-Ring. Before, Hapu actually appears before him and gives him a Z-Ring, who she had watched the race and admired Sophocles. This showcasing Sophocles that he is worthy after all, making our boy even happier, which was an excellent way to end this episode off. I mean, sure it would have been amazing if we got to see both Lily and Sophocles get Z-Rings earlier on into this series, hell even Mallow's inedible one, but it's better late than never. Plus, you know, the anime was forced to go through the Sun and Moon game story, the Ultra game story, and promote Let's Go with Eevee, with their own unique twist. So, it's also understandable why development regarding these characters took a while. But, with that said, and even the episode's story, altogether, as you should hopefully see, I found this episode to be quite good in certain areas, but only certain areas, but mostly being the development sections, whereas the rest of the episode was just adequate at best to me. If anything, you don't need to watch this episode, but if you're bored, then be sure to pop this on to witness the neat development sections for yourself. When we come to my episode leaderboards though, I'll be putting this episode as number 21 on my season 3 leaderboard out of 29 episodes, but you know this isn't bad whatsoever, whereas this would be number 89 on my overall leaderboard out of 119, which again isn't bad whatsoever. Both are in the decent areas. If you have watched this episode though, then do let me know in the comments down below what you personally thought of this episode though. I love to hear, as we can have different opinions. Before we finish off this video though, for those asking me when I'm going to discuss the brand new summaries, I'll be discussing them once we get more detailed versions of them. As not only do I like my summaries to be detailed, but I like my videos to be as detailed as possible. I did also state this in my community tab, so if you haven't got my notifications turned on for that, or have never gone to my community tab, then be sure to do that every so often. That's where you get every single update on Sun and Moon news if I don't talk about it in videos, and even channel updates. But yeah, overall, that now finishes off this video. So if you enjoyed, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with hitting that bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel any further way, I also have a Patreon. Thank you for watching everybody, this is Entity Maze, signing out.